The Enola Gay's mission starts from Tinian in the Marianas. The crew has had their final briefing on weather and air-sea rescue. Only yesterday, they have been told of the true power of the weapon they are to carry.
This is Brigadier General Thomas F. Farrell of Albany, New York, Theater Commander of the Atomic Bomb Project. Will you tell us something of the Atomic Bomb Project, General Farrell?
I know I speak for every man and woman of the huge throng who worked so long and so faithfully on this great, fantastic fairyland project, which has had such a tremendous impact on the war against Japan. So much credit is due to so many that it would be difficult to properly apportion that credit. We have, however, a sense of great moral responsibility because this great power has been given to us, and we should be ever humble and grateful that it was given to us rather than to our enemies. And all of us who have had a part in its development and in carrying out its use should dedicate our strength, our wealth, our brains, and even our very lives to see that it is always used for good and never for evil. Right.
The massive bomb has been loaded.
This is Colonel Paul Tibbets of Miami, Florida, commander of the Atomic Bomb Group. Captain Theodore J. Van Kirk of Northumberland, Pennsylvania, Colonel Tibbets, navigator. This is Major Tom Fairby of Marksville, North Carolina, bombardier of the first atomic bomber. Captain William Sterling Parsons, United States Navy, of Fort Sumner, New Mexico.
At 2:45 in the morning, August 6, 1945, Colonel Tibbets takes the Enola Gay down the runway into the air, beginning the 6.5-hour flight to Japan. Over Iwo Jima, they begin the slow climb to bombing altitude. At 8:15, a weather plane reports from Hiroshima that conditions are good. 2/10 lower and middle, and 2/10 at 15,000 feet. As they approach the target area, the weapon is checked for the last time. At 9:11, 31,000 feet over Hiroshima, the Enola Gay begins the bomb run. At 9:15, the bomb is dropped. The aircraft banks away at high speed. Just 50 seconds later, 15 miles from ground zero, the Enola Gay is rocked by the blast.
After a photographing session that made us feel like a Hollywood premiere, we got off at about 3 o'clock in the morning, darkness, and headed for Iwo Jima, which we reached about sunrise. We made certain adjustments and tests on the bomb during that flight. We then headed for the Empire, and the weather improved as we went along. We felt that it was our lucky day, and we knew it was as we made the final approach toward Hiroshima, which the navigator hit right on the button. The bombardier took over, identified the target, and everything went with perfection not approached in the rehearsals. The bomb was finally released exactly at the designated hour, and the explosion occurred as planned. Well, as the bomb left the airplane, we took over manual control, made an extremely steep turn to try and put as much distance between ourselves and the explosion as possible. After we felt the explosion hit the airplane, that is the concussion waves, we knew that the bomb had exploded, everything was a success, so we turned around to take a look at it. The sight that greeted our eyes was quite beyond what we had expected, because we saw this cloud of boiling dust and debris below us with this tremendous mushroom on top. Beneath that was hidden the ruins of the city of Hiroshima. My navigator had me perfectly lined up with the target. When I clutched in with my sight, I could clearly see the city of Hiroshima within my bomb sight. Then I clutched in and took the run, and I felt the bump of the airplane. I was greatly relieved because I knew the unit had gone from the airplane that we had successfully delivered. It meant so much to the Army Air Forces, American science and industry.
Well, I knew when we hit the coast of Japan that we were well on our way to completing a successful mission, and that the new bomb we carried would be a great help in shortening the war.
Crossing the Atlantic, President Truman announces the unleashing of the cataclysmic elemental power of the atom.
A short time ago, an American airplane dropped one bomb on Hiroshima and destroyed its usefulness to the enemy. That bomb has more power than 20,000 tons of TNT. The Japanese began the war from the air at Pearl Harbor. They have been repaid many-fold, and the end is not yet. We are now prepared to destroy more rapidly and completely every productive enterprise the Japanese have in any city. We shall destroy their docks, their factories, and their communications. Let there be no mistake. We shall completely destroy Japan's power to make war. It is an atomic bomb. It is a harnessing of the basic power of the universe. The force from which the sun draws its power has been loosed against those who brought war to the Far East. It was to spare the Japanese people from utter destruction that the ultimatum of July the 26th was issued at Potsdam. Their leaders promptly rejected that ultimatum. If they do not now accept our terms, they may expect a rain of ruin from the air, the like of which has never been seen on this earth.
Science, with its magic, sought for a long time to smash the atom and unlock the prodigious forces in nature's ultimate particle. That was a goal from the time when the discovery of radioactivity disclosed the innermost secrets of the physical universe. This electrical experiment in Britain was one of the first attempts to smash the atom, and it failed. The attempt succeeded when Dr. E.O. Lawrence developed the cyclotron, the atom-smashing machine. In that apparatus, energy particles of the atoms are separated into new combinations. And the California physicist, when war came, was enlisted in the creation of the atomic bomb. One of a galaxy of brilliant scientists, like Dr. Harold Urey. They worked for 3 years to develop the weapon of unheard-of power, now the possession of the United States, Britain, and Canada. The Italian physicist, Dr. Enrico Fermi, one of the atomic bomb creators. International scientists, though American and British mostly. The list of wizards of the atom is long and includes Dr. Arthur Compton. The late President Roosevelt and former Prime Minister Winston Churchill laid plans for the $2 billion project to develop the atomic bomb with giant technical plants like this one at Oak Ridge, Tennessee. Surrounded by impenetrable secrecy, an especially built factory city like a hidden community dedicated to the colossal task of unlocking the innermost forces of nature, the greatest of war secrets on which thousands of these Americans worked. Richland, Washington, another segment of the greatest project of science that history has ever known. Then on the desert of New Mexico, the atomic bomb was put to a decisive, spectacular test. This is described by Major General Leslie Groves, who was in charge of the entire program. Dr. Vannevar Bush was technical advisor in atomic science, as was Dr. Richard Tolman. Of the experimental explosion, General Groves says,
"After 3 years of the highest tension, with difficult decisions, dependent to great extent on theory, our minds were set at rest on July 16th, when the first atomic bomb exploded. To say we were interested witnesses is an understatement. We feel words inadequate to describe the effects of this bomb. The light of many suns, the tremendous ball of fire, the shock and sound, and the formation of boiling clouds were all beyond human experience. It had to be witnessed to be realized, and it is a universal hope of all present that no American citizen will ever witness it on United States soil again."
Hiroshima as it was, the first target surveyed by preliminary aerial photography. A single bomb was dropped and the big Jap army base was obliterated, the enemy admitting annihilation. Nagasaki next, the unimaginable power of the atom used to force a quick end to war in the Pacific. Japan to surrender or be destroyed by fleets of atomic bombers.